Yeah. The Chargers are back. The Chargers are back. Yeah. The Chargers are back. Welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. Say what's up to Stacy, the host. Always keeping it real though. Rocking with the Chargers since 78. From San Diego up to 5 Mount LA State. Powder blues clean. Don't let the colors fool you. Jim Harbaugh running the show. Yeah, the coach is brutal. Back to back double-digit wins. Set the tone. Lost a few pieces, but we locked in. Fully loaded zone. Eyes on the future. Yeah, we speak it into heaven. Super Bowl is so far. 2027. I'm saying your team sidelines nervous. Yeah, they know what it be. Mike McDaniel in the offense scheming like demons, huh? Chris O'Leary in the building. Defense! Yeah, 3 about to tell us what this team really meant. Playoff run longer, yeah, we put them to sleep. If you want Chargers everything, this is the place to be. Chargers Talk 4630. Nobody's got it better than us. Hey, share and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
This episode of Chargers Talk 4630 is brought to you by Zevo Life, the exclusive patented superfood changing the way people fuel their bodies. Now listen, if you're looking for a game-changing way to improve your health, Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant. We're talking over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and powerful antioxidants, all in one natural source. Just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts your energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. And the best part, people everywhere are giving it a 5-star review because it works. So if you're ready to feel the difference, head over to Zevo.life and start your journey with their 30-day risk-free guarantee. And because you're a loyal listener of this podcast, you get an exclusive 30% discount. Just use my code ChargeTalk4630 at checkout. That's without the R. That's ChargeTalk4630. Take control of your health today with Zevo Life. Your body will thank you. Good morning and welcome back to Chargers Talk 4630. I appreciate every one of you guys for tuning in. And before I get started, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to keep receiving content right here on Chargers Talk 4630. All right, so we're officially on the eve of the NFL free agency frenzy, which starts tomorrow. And the Chargers have already made a couple of moves before things get started tomorrow, right? So first, they solidified the center position by signing Tyler Biadasz, and that gives them stability in the middle of the offensive line, something that we knew that was definitely going to be a priority. And then just yesterday, they brought back one of the leaders of the defense by re-signing Khalil Mack to a 1-year deal worth $18 million, which was fully guaranteed. So now you got your center locked in. You brought back Khalil Mack to anchor the pass rush, and the Chargers still have plenty of cap space to work with. But there's still a ton of moves left to make. This roster still has some holes to fill, and there are also some important decisions about players that's already on the team too. And that brings me to one of the biggest questions surrounding this defense right now. What are the Chargers going to do with Odafe Oweh? He is one of the names that's generating a lot of discussion around the Chargers community right now. And I was on X and I was on TikTok and I was interacting with a lot of the fans, and they had mixed reviews about bringing back Khalil Mack, and I was on there trying to defend the decision. So I wanted to come on and add a little bit more context because, you know, you only got a few characters to say what you have to say, so you're sending tweets back and forth, but there was more context that I wanted to add to it so I can be fully understood from my perspective why I thought it was a good move. And they brought up some good opinions as to why it shouldn't have been done. I don't have an issue with it at all. But first, let's start off with edge rusher Odafe Oweh because he had a strong finish to the season after being traded from the Ravens, right? And second is wide receiver Quentin Johnston, right? His future is suddenly becoming a big topic to talk about because the Chargers can pick up his 5th-year option if they decide to. It's a lot of trade rumors going on. So today, I want to break down both situations and what the Chargers can do. Odafe Oweh is probably the biggest free agent decision facing the Chargers defense. And Odafe Oweh has been a very productive pass rusher, even if he hasn't quite become a superstar yet, right? His skill set is somewhere between good and great. If you go back at his production over the course of his career, right, it's actually been like a steady progression. I think in his rookie year, 2021 with the Ravens, he played 15 games and he only had 5 sacks. In 2022, he played a full season but only had 3 sacks, and that was a kind of a down year for him. Then in 2023, he bounced back a little bit and he played in 13 games, but he still only finished with 5 sacks again, right? But in 2024, I think he really took a big step forward. He played a full season and he finished with 10 sacks, giving him his first double-digit sack of the season. And then last year, 2025 season, he started with the Ravens. I don't know what was going on over there, but he did record a sack in 5 games, and that became a really big deal. But they traded him to the Chargers, and after the trade, he finished the regular season with 7.5 sacks for the Chargers, and then he added 3 more in that wild card playoff game against the New England Patriots, which was one of the most dominating games of his short career. So while he may not be an elite 15 sack guy, he's been pretty productive over 4 seasons. And that matters, right? But the problem is simple. Free agency, it drives the prices up for everybody. Every player wants to hit the open market because that's where teams start bidding against each other. The Chargers might have a number in mind for Oweh, but once free agency opens, you can have possibly 5, 6, maybe 7 teams offering deals that go way beyond what the Chargers believe he's worth, right? And if that happens, it becomes very difficult to keep him. So my philosophy is this. It's just pretty simple. If the Chargers believe Odafe Oweh fits the defense and they can come to a reasonable number, they should sign him. Because here's the thing. You know what he is. You have his resume and production after 4 years in the NFL. If you let him walk and try to replace him in the draft, I think that's a gamble. We've seen plenty of college pass rushers dominate on that level and then never reach that level in the NFL. So if the Chargers don't bring him back, whoever they replace him with, whether it's a free agent or a draft pick, they better be an upgrade. Because the last thing they need to do is let him go and he go on to be an impact player for his career and his replacement don't do any better. Now let's talk about Quentin Johnston for a second. When he was drafted 3 years ago, he was drafted ahead of Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers. And those two were very impactful players right away with their respective teams, with the Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings, right? Quentin Johnston, he had a very rough rookie start. He had dropped passes. He had very little impact at all. But the last 2 seasons, he's actually improved quite a bit. Like the last 2 seasons, he's averaged 51 receptions and 735 yards and 8 touchdowns. And that's now 2 straight seasons with 8 touchdowns. So he's clearly improved his stock, his value, and he's still trending upward. However, he's entering his final season under the rookie deal. And the big question now is the 5th-year option, which would cost the Chargers around $15 to $17 million. And that's a pretty big number for a receiver who's been solid over the last 2 seasons, right? But hasn't fully broken out yet. So the Chargers have a few options. Keep him and pick up the 5th-year option. They can decline it and keep him short-term, maybe just for this season. And 3, try to trade him now while he does have value and career is still trending upward, right? There's been a lot of speculation that the Chargers is open to trading Quentin for the right price. And one team that keeps coming up in rumors is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, nothing official has come from inside the Chargers organization yet. So right now, it's all speculation, right? But it's believable because, in my opinion, the Chargers are actually pretty deep at wide receiver right now. And this is where Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh have some tough decisions to make. You still got holes on the offensive line and defensive lines. But for right now, it comes down to this. With Odafe Oweh, if you can get him back at the right number, bring him back. Because proven pass rushers are valuable. And you already know what he can do. With Quentin Johnston, I'm a little more flexible on that one. If the Chargers get a good trade offer, I understand moving him. But if they don't, there's nothing wrong with keeping him because I think he's still improving every year. Slowly, but he's improving. Now, I want to address the disrespect that I think I'm seeing for Khalil Mack on social media. And I know because I spent the hour defending the decision to sign him to a fully guaranteed $18 million deal. Now, I get why a lot of people say, hey, he's getting long in the tooth. They like Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals. People are pointing out that Khalil Mack only had 5 sacks last year, but it's funny how somehow we forgot so soon that Khalil Mack missed 5 games last year. We remember that gruesome-looking injury that he had where his elbow was dislocated. It looked crazy. It looked like when I first saw it, I'm like, uh-oh, I think he's out for the year. And he was able to come back, so he missed 5 games. But I just want to say, Khalil Mack brings a lot to the table that we're not taking consideration for. Too often, pass rushers are defined by how many sacks they get. What about the pressures? Sometimes pressuring the quarterback, making him get off the spot, making him go off script, trying to make a play happen, rush the pass because Khalil Mack is breathing right down their neck, and they throw a pick or they make bad decisions or they got to throw it out of bounds because of the pressure. Sometimes pressure is more valuable than a sack at times, right? And, a lot of pass rushers have to leave the field after a passing down because when they're running plays, they're not, body is not thick enough to be able to handle those offensive linemen when they're doing pull plays, when they're running the ball. And Khalil Mack is still one of the best edge setters in the National Football League, and he's strong enough to stay inside and fight in the trenches and stop the run too. He still give offensive line fits. So don't get stuck on he only had 5 sacks. I like to believe he probably would have had another double-digit sack season had he not had that injury. Now, Khalil Mack, yes, he's been on 3 different teams in the NFL, including the Chargers. And unfortunately, the teams weren't built well enough to win games in December and January. But that didn't stop Khalil Mack from still dominating at his position. So I'm going to defend it one more time. And you only get like a couple of characters to state your case on X. But it was so much context that I wanted to add. But it was just running out of room. So I did small tweets back and forth with a lot of the fans. And from many, they just didn't want him back. And they thought the $18 million was too much. But let me read you some of Khalil Mack's accomplishment because I have to remind some of you guys just how good this guy is. In 2016, Khalil Mack was NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's been selected to the Pro Bowl 9 times in his career. He had extraordinary achievement where he was the first player to ever receive first-team All-Pro in 2 positions, linebacker and defensive end, all in the same season, 2015. He has 113 sacks in his career. He recorded 17 sacks his first year with the Chargers in 2023. In 2010, he was selected to the All-Decade team. I did mention the fact that he only had 5.5 sacks last year in 12 games because of the injury that he had. But Khalil Mack is a first-time Hall of Famer. Despite of what people think, he's still a highly productive player, even at his age. Is he the same pass rusher that he used to be? No, he's not. But what he does with helping the Chargers defense and setting the edge and stopping the run and applying pressure, even when he's not getting the sack, causing turnovers. You have to look at the fact that what he brings to the locker room in terms of his leadership, his professionalism, his work ethic. He's been great on the football field and been just as great off the football field. A married man, a family man, and never getting in any kind of trouble in the offseason. That right there in itself is so valuable to a team and in the locker room. So Khalil Mack, despite of what you think about him, he earned the right to receive, to get another opportunity to come back. He earned the right to get paid $18 million fully guaranteed. He earned that. We're talking about a first-time selection Hall of Famer that I don't think anybody will argue that fact with me. So he means a lot to this defense, and he's going to go down as one of the best. I'm sure before he makes his exit, he wants to get a couple of playoff wins, go deep in the playoffs, and possibly a Super Bowl to add to his already fantastic career. So with free agency starting tomorrow, the Chargers are going to have to make some big-time decisions, right? Do they bring back Odafe Oweh, or does he cash in somewhere else? And do they hold on to Quentin Johnston or exploit the trade while he still has value? So we'll definitely be watching closely, and that's what I had today. Thank you for checking me out. I'll be on whenever some breaking news or a trade happens. Like, share, and subscribe, and bolt up.
Yeah, we keep it smooth. Chargers talk.